So the game of dice, or casino craps, is actually a very simple game. Now if you look at the layout behind me, you're thinking, no way, this is a very complicated game. And it certainly can be intimidated when you approach the craps table. But really these dice can only roll 11 numbers. And the game of craps is about a betting on what number you think will roll. That's it. You're going to bet on one of 11 numbers and hope that your number that you bet on rolls and you win. There are different ways to bet on these numbers, and that's why the layout is complicated, and that's where the complication comes into the game. The game itself, very simple. The bets can be intimidating. So today we're going to try to remove some of that intimidation for you. So maybe if you've never played the game or you want to try it for the first time, this video is for you. A craps table has two sides that just mirror each other. They are really there just to allow for more players, and most tables can accommodate up to 8 players per side. So let's get rid of one side of the table and let's just focus on one side of the table. Now let's look at the center of the table. These are called your proposition bets. Now they are low percentage bets, which means they're very unlikely that you roll them. Now if you do, they pay well, but they're unlikely to happen. They're very risky bets. So as a beginner player, you really don't even need to consider these bets until you understand them more. And veteran players, a lot of them won't even play these bets just because they are high house edge bets. So let's go ahead and remove it from their table for demonstration purposes. Next we have the pass line, and this is the most fundamental bet in the game. So let me take a second to explain this, and this will explain a lot of the other bets. I understand this bet could be a little confusing for beginners, so just bear with me, but once you got this, you can basically master the game. All right, so let's make a bet on the pass line. It comes in two parts. The first part of the game is when this puck says off. When the puck is off, the 7 or 11, if you roll them with 2 dice, the 7 or 11 will cause your bet to win. If you roll a 2, 3, or 12, you cause the bet to lose. That's it. No other number matters. 7 or 11 wins, 2, 3, and 12 is a loser. If you win, they'll pay you right next to your bet. If you lose, they'll take away your bet. Now, if you remember, I said there are 11 different numbers that can roll with these dice. So if the 7 or 11 or 2, 3, or 12 doesn't roll, then it's going to be one of these numbers up here. And what happens if one of those numbers roll, let's say it's the 10, they'll take this marker, the dealers will, and put it on the number 10. So if you have a bet on the pass line and it survived the first roll, now your bet is on the 10. At this point of the game, this is the second part of the game, if the 10 rolls, you win your bet. If the 7 rolls, you lose your bet. No other number matters. So again, the 10 rolls we win, the 7 we lose. Now if the puck was moved to a different number, let's say the 6, at this point our bet is on the 6. We want the 6 to roll. If the 6 rolls we win, the 7 rolls we lose. So when this puck is on, the 7 is a bad number, and that's what you want to avoid. Now the don't pass is opposite of the pass line. If you have a bet on that, the 7 or 11 will lose, and the 2 and 3 will win. And then whenever the puck goes on a number, in this case it's a 9, we're actually betting for the 7 will win our bet, and the 9 will lose our bet. So it's the opposite. So once you have a real understanding of the pass line, the don't pass is basically the same bet, and you'll understand that. So let's go ahead and remove that off of my layout here. Moving up on the layout, now we have the field. This is a real simple bet to understand. If you make a bet on here and one of these numbers that you see rolls, you win your bet. If one of the numbers you don't see roll, which is the 5, 6, 7, or 8, you lose your bet. Real simple bet. That's an easy one. Next up, we have the come. Now the come is exactly like the pass line, but you play it in the middle of the game when this puck is on a number. So if you understand the pass line, you'll understand the come bet. So let's go ahead and remove it from our layout. Now up here, the don't come is the same thing. It's bet whenever the puck is in the on position, and it is just like the don't pass, but it's in the middle of the game. So if you understand the pass line, you understand the don't, you understand the come, and you understand the don't come, we'll just remove that from the layout. Next up, we have the box numbers 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Now, these are mirrored numbers of each other. The 4 and 10 mirror each other, the 5 and 9, and the 6 and 8. So what that means is it's the same odds and payouts on the 4 as it is on the 10. The 5 and 9 are the same, and the 6 and 8 are the same. So once you learn how to bet on the 4, 5, and 6, you automatically will understand how to bet and get paid on the 8, 9, and 10. So to simplify our layout, let's go ahead and remove the 8, 9, and 10. Now, as you can see, the layout is substantially less intimidating, or at least it is for me to understand. We have the pass line, the field, and the 4, 5, and 6. Basically 5 bets to understand this whole game. I hope this little example eases your fears a little bit, because the game, although it looks complicated, at its core, really not so much. Let's head back over to my table and let's talk about some things you should do when you play for the very first time or approach the table for the first time. When you come up to the table, the very first thing you want to look for is this little plaque. Now this is going to tell you how much it costs to play the game, or the minimum bet that's allowed. It might say $3, $10, $15, $25, or maybe even a fancy casino as high as $50. This is your minimum bet, which means your one single bet has to be at least, in our example, we're going to use $10. So you have to bet $10 to make any bet on the table. The next thing you want to look for is this puck. If it says it's on and it's on a number, that means you're in the middle of the game. At that point, just stay at the table and wait. It may only take a few minutes, sometimes it'll take a little longer, but at some point this puck is going to be turned off. That means the hand is over and the players are going to start again. Now the dealer may be busy for a moment paying off a bunch of bets or removing a bunch of losing bets, but there's going to be a little pause in the action. At that point is when you want to put your money on the table. Now you could just simply put the money on the table in front of you. You could place it up here in the cum because that's where the dealer is going to make the change, but you just let them know that you want to play. The dealer is going to take your money and count out your money. In this case we have $300. And then he's going to slide you your chips. Now there's going to be a rail in front of you. You're going to pick up your chips and put them in the rack in front of you. Now you're ready to play the game. Now depending on your personality is how I would approach playing this game. For me, I was super nervous. I think my hands were shaking the first time I played this game, honestly. So what I would recommend for you is when the puck is off, you just take the minimum bet, depending on what the sign says, and we're just going to place it on the pass line in front of you. So if you're standing over here in the corner, you'll just put it there. If you're over here, you'll just put it there. So you just put the bet in front of you. That's it. That's all I would do. That's how I would play this game, and maybe observe what's going on. You'll see kind of the flow of how when numbers are rolled, the dealer pays things out, other players bet, and so you'll observe and learn a lot just by staying there with actually this is a great bet. If you just stick with this bet, you're probably not going to win much money. You're probably not going to lose much money either. It's almost a 50-50 bet. Now that's it. Until you understand the game more, I would just stick to that, watch some more of my videos, learn some of the other bets, and then give them a try, or ask the dealer. They can help you out with some of these other bets. Now, not everyone has a personality like me. Some people are like, all right, I got some money. This game looks interesting. Let's give it a try. And they'll, they'll hear other people making bets and they'll copy their bets. So it's just going to depend on your personality. But the next step after making this pass line bet, if you wanted to bet on another number, I would stick to the 6 and 8. And you could just tell the dealer, I'd like to make a bet on the 6. How much money do I need? They'll gladly help you out. On a $10 table, they're going to tell you these are $12 bets. All the other numbers are $10. But to be paid properly, and again, this is a complicated thing that you'll learn as you study more about the game, but when you bet on the 6 and 8, it should always be in increments of $6. On a $5 game, you're going to bet $6 on the 6 or 8. On here we're at 12 on a $10 table, you're going to bet $12. So the dealer's going to ask you for $12, and then you could pick one, the 6 or 8, or you could bet on both, depending on how much money you want to risk. But these are the two bets I'd stick to. I do want to mention, if you don't have exact change, for instance, this bet is a $12 bet, you can actually bet more. You could bet 12, 24, and go up. But if you don't have the change, you can always give the dealer, and this is where you're going to place your bet in here in the cum, you can always give the dealer $15 because we don't have any ones in our rack. So what they'll do is they'll take your 15 and they'll give you $3 in change and they'll put it in front of you, and then they'll place your bet of $12 and you can just put the change in your rack. So don't worry about it if you don't have exact change. They'll tell you how much to give you, and you could always ask. That's what the dealers are there for. So they'll make change for you if you don't have it. Now there are plenty of other bets. There's a bet actually behind the pass line where you can make it. You can bet on all these numbers at once if you'd like. There's different versions of these bets. For instance, the 4 and 10, instead of making what's called a place bet, you can make a buy bet, and it's actually better for the player. So there's a lot of bets in this game that could get really complicated, not to mention the proposition bets, which we haven't talked about. But I cover a lot of this in my beginner series. I take it at a slow pace, bet by bet, and we cover everything. So if you go over to my website, colorup.club, that's a great place to start. You just give me your email and I send you out the free video course that breaks it down nice and slow, explains things step by step so you can really master this game, understand it, and feel comfortable to play the game. I started this Color Up channel years ago because back then there wasn't a whole lot of instruction on this game online or on YouTube, and I really love this game. It's a lot of fun, but so many people are intimidated by it. So that's what I hope to do, and that's my goal here at Color Up, is to introduce new players to the game, get them comfortable with the game, so we can all enjoy this game that I love. So watch more of my YouTube videos or go to my website, colorup.club, to download that free beginner course. But I hope this video has helped remove some of the intimidation around the game. And I'm going to wish you, until next time, good luck on coloring up.